All right, welcome back, Dr. Nuruddin, and he is a member of the Concerned Nigerian Leaders, which is making this call. Now, Dr. Nuruddin is a former Minister of State and for... all right, Dr. Nuruddin, your statement describes Nigeria as bleeding. What specific event or turning point prompted this urgent call to action?
Thank you very much. Describing Nigeria as bleeding, we're not looking at things from what is happening today. We actually took a longitudinal analysis approach and discovered that for more than a decade, this military-grade violence involving non-state actors had persisted, right from 2009, if I can recall, when the major uprising of Boko Haram started in Maiduguri City in Borno State, northeast Nigeria, to the present duration of 16 years, a decade and a half. And what prompted our intervention now is that our observation that, number one, perhaps Nigerians are still in the narrative war, who is killing who and why. That's number one. We found that a bit destructive. Number two, we are worried that Nigerians are becoming numb to this casualties every day. When this crisis started 10 years back, if 10 people were killed, it attracts national attention. And then gradually we got accommodated where 100 people would be killed. And then the following morning, Nigerians would be discussing different topics. So we found that a bit worrying. And then third and final, is the observation that we keep doing the same thing over and over again over this decade and a half, and then perhaps expecting different result, which doesn't work that way. So it's not that we're coming together to say there's an escalation of crisis or is a fault of the president. That would be overtly politicizing the situation. And I think most of the members of the group are more informed than to follow that path, because some of us have been in government, have been directly involved in some of these issues. Some of us have sat in the National Security Council. Some of us have sat at regional levels, continental levels, global levels to discuss these type of security situations. Some of us are very, very seasoned advocates for peace involved in researches with the United Nations Development Program.
Sorry
community leaders of development. So we're not gathering to say there's escalation of crisis or the president is at fault. What we're saying is, hey...
Sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Nuruddin, pardon me. You're calling for a presidential task force. Now, with extraordinary powers. Now, how do you envision this body working differently from existing security agencies or committees?
As I said, the existing security agencies and the existing security architecture system has been working tirelessly since 2010, when the first bomb went off in Abuja and up to today. And what Nigerians are saying is actually the debate still about whether these things are going down or they're escalating. The reality is, if you check out the longitudinal link, it has spread from the northeast to the northwest, the middle belt, down southeast. So what we're saying is, this is where the president is, because he represents the sovereign power. He represents our collective political conscience. He represents our social cohesion as people, to try to organize a presidential task force with extraordinary powers to explore the nuances of this crisis, the cultural interpretations of this crisis, the social interpretations of this crisis, the academic factors across the country, to be empowered together with our gallant military officers, confront this thing comprehensively. That's what we're saying, and it's in sync with our thought reason for coming now, that we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So we're trying to create a national consciousness about doing something differently. Perhaps it's an opportunity for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, write his name in gold, get this presidential task force, give them extraordinary powers, explore social, economic, and even cultural dimensions of the crisis, use kinetic and non-kinetic approaches, analyze the kinetic approaches, whether they're actually adequate. We had a very robust discussion within the group, and to be honest with you, at some points were very contentious and very hard, but we realized that if an elite microcosm of supposedly enlightened Nigerians, 24 of us perhaps, cannot agree on a narrative and way forward, then we're in a very serious problem in the country. So this is where President Tinubu comes in, not at the blame level, but as the driver. Is an opportunity for President Tinubu to drive this process.
Dr. Nuruddin, now the statement draws comparisons with Colombia, Rwanda, and Northern Ireland. What practical lessons from these countries do you think Nigeria is currently ignoring or failing to implement?
All right, so the practical lessons from this country is, one, there was naturally a kinetic approach to the crisis. Some of us are statists. We believe that it's only the state who has a monopoly of violence. So we're not getting out of the kinetic options from people. In fact, we want to see more of us. That's number one. Number two, the lessons from these countries is how these territories took a comprehensive look of the crisis in those countries and inject social, economic, and cultural solutions, and nuances in the interpretation of the crisis and applying them to reach conclusion of the crisis. So these territories combine both kinetic and non-kinetic with, let me say, at the same level of importance. We are not saying negotiate with anyone who takes arms and intimidate Nigerians, massacre them dangerously, rape their women, plunder their wealth. Those have to be repeated. But then, learning from Colombia, Northern Ireland, Rwanda, there are cultural, social, and economic nuances that will form the non-kinetic component. And that's where the presidential task force comes in handy. The security agencies are essentially the kinetic aspect, and someone got to oversee all of these things, and this fits right into what we are proposing.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Nuruddin.